In Daniel Pink's book, When, he talks about how to get remotivated and when to get remotivated. And he talks about one of the best ways to continue reaching your goals and to stick with it is to simulate new beginnings. So one of the most common ways people do that is by setting New Year's resolutions. It's the beginning, time to start something new. But he talks about try to simulate new beginnings as often as you can so that you can get remotivated and re-inspired. And so I think that's one of the best benefits of quarterly planning is it simulates a new beginning and it creates this re-motivation in your mind. If you're like me, if you saw my last video, I've been feeling super unmotivated in March. As a collective, March and April are some of the most miserable and unmotivated months of the year. And so it's especially important during this time that we make sure that we get remotivated and re-inspired. So I think quarter 2 is a great time to do that. So I actually made a goal setting workbook. It's my vision book, my 2022 vision book. And my last plan with me is I've used the iPad, the digital version, the physical version, and this time I'm just going to use a regular bullet journal because I just want to make it accessible to everyone. I think this stuff is so important. So by the end of this video, you're going to feel inspired about your goals. We're going to simulate a new beginning and you're going to feel re-enthused about your goals. At the same time, you're going to have a very actionable, easy to follow through on system. We're going to start kind of airy-fairy, like with your dream life, and then we're going to get very concrete and very specific. That way it's easy to follow through on. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a visualization, then we're going to move on to segmentation. It's my favorite goal setting technique to kind of help with that time-bound aspect of SMART goals, and then the systematization. And that's just going to help us get very actionable and very specific. So yeah, let's get into the overhead view and let's get into it. So I've kind of outlined a few of the questions for my vision book in this bullet journal, and we can just do them together. So the first question is, you are a quarter of the way through the year. Reread your yearly work you did in January. Take a moment to meditate on the stories you wrote and the vision board you made. After you've done that, imagine you wake up on a Wednesday at the end of June, the end of quarter 2. Describe your dream day in detail like a novel. Make sure to emotionally connect with what this vision will feel like and dream big. So I'll read you mine, and I encourage you to just really imagine this, really get into the space, and then pause this video and do it yourself. I wake up in our San Francisco Airbnb. I've absolutely loved my time here. This place aligns with me so much. Garrett and I wake up together. He takes a shower while I do my morning journaling and gratitude work. I'm absolutely loving this time spent walking, biking, and exploring. The house is minimal and clean. We go for a morning bike ride, and I get a zip fizz. It's been so nice to be stress-free financially. We come back, and I work on YouTube and the podcast. I feel so creatively inspired here. Once we're done with our daily work of overcoming the resistance, we head out to explore another part of the city. YouTube has been such a blessing. To make content from anywhere about whatever feels in alignment is truly a gift. We've decided to move here and we can afford it, so we're looking for apartments. Later we go to a church event. We've met so many new people we love. This feels like a blossoming place, and I'm loving our time here. About 40 more days and this will be home for real. I've never felt freer or more alive. So yeah, go ahead, take time to pause this video. You can even write it in more specificity than I just wrote mine, but just start from when you wake up to when you go to bed. Describe a typical weekday at the end of quarter 2, your dream life, if quarter 2 goes as planned. So now that we've done our visualization, now we're going to move into the segmentation portion of it. And all segmentation means is we're taking a chunk of time and we're segmenting it into smaller and smaller chunks of time so that we're left with really manageable chunks of time. Because the thing with time bound is if you're setting yearly goals, there's a lower likelihood that you can accurately predict what you can achieve in a year than what you can predict you can do in a quarter, than you can predict you can do in a month, in a week. And so it's important to kind of segment it down even further. So the first thing I'm going to I'm going to write down what my quarter 2 goal is. And this is based on my yearly goal. So if you'd like to see my yearly segmentation, I'll link that video in the description. And so I'm kind of referencing the way I know what my quarter 2 goal is I kind of picked at the start of the year what I wanted my goals to be each quarter. And there are 2 kinds of goals, outcome and action goals. So we're going to first set an outcome goal. An outcome is it's the outcome that you would wish to see. So let's say you had a weight loss goal. The outcome is I'd like to weigh 150 pounds. the actions that are associated with that might be working out, drinking water, creating a meal plan. So it's important to set both. So we're going to first set outcome goals, and then later pages we're going to set action goals. And I've kind of numbered these pages. There's going to be 6 pages in total when we're done with this. So my goal for the end of my yearly goal was I'll move to California by the end of 2022. I will do this by getting my revenue up and saving money to Airbnb and then move. And so for me, with that goal, my goal is that the outcome I'd like to see is $3,000 per month in AdSense revenue. I have other revenue streams, but that one is more consistent, and so I would like to get that one up to $3,000 a month. And so this is quarter 2, this line I have here, segmented into its 3 months. So we've got the end of April, I'll be here, the end of May, I'll be here, and then the end of June, I'll be here. So my goal for the end of quarter 2 is to be making $3,000 per month from AdSense. And so I'm just going to chunk my way backwards then. My revenue has been all over the place. It was up at $1,500. At this point, it's down at like $600. So the goals I'm going to, I'll just say by the end of May, I want to be at $2,000 a month. And by the end of April, I want to be at $1,000 per month. So I'm just kind of chunking the outcomes back. And again, these are just the outcomes. We'll get into kind of the action goals in a second. And you can go ahead and pause this video and segment this for yourself. So then we're going to segment even further. So we segmented quarter 2, but since we're in April, we're going to segment that. So my goal for April is to be making $1,000 a month. So this is my end of April, and it's segmented into its weeks. So this is the end of week 4, week 3, week 2, and week 1. And it's important to kind of go backwards. You start with the end in mind, and then you segment backwards from there. So like we said on the previous page, my goal for the end of April is to be at $1,000 per month. And you can... So for the end of April, my goal is I want to be at $1,000 a month. I think I'm going to start, let's call this at the end of week 1, I'll be at $600. The end of week 2, $700. At the end of week 3, $800. And then I made it a little uneven, and I'll jump up to $1,000. So go ahead and segment the outcomes you would like to see in April. So now we're going to move into our action goals. So my week 4 outcome, I'll just rewrite these. Some people might think this is redundant. I think the rewriting really kind of solidifies things in your brain. I like to rewrite my goals, reread my goals. My outcome for week 3 was $800. My outcome for week 2 was $700. And my outcome for week 1 was $600. And so now this is where we're going to get to the actions. And I've put a little checkbox here that says add to your calendar. So all these actions, I'm actually going to put these on my calendar for April. So if you look at, I'm probably going to put mine in this notes column right here, so that I just know that sometime that week I need to do that thing. I probably won't schedule it down to the day, but I will schedule it down to the week. And then when I get to weekly planning, I'll get more specific. So I would think, kind of starting at week 1 with the actions, I think I'm going to need to really focus on search bar content. And so I think I need to do a brainstorming session. I need to continually work on that getting found strategy. If I really want the revenue to go up, it basically means I need to be getting in front of new people. So I have already done this adding to calendar part, but I would be adding these. So I'm going to put a brainstorming session on my calendar for week 1. And I can just check off this box because I have already added it to my calendar. Week 2, I think I'll put it on my calendar to re-evaluate how kind of that search bar content is going. And I think I need to just double down on what's working. I think sometimes I can focus on things that are not working, but I think it's important to really capitalize on your strengths, especially in a work setting, more than it is to kind of manage your weaknesses. one thing that I would like to be doing, I'm going to add reading to my calendar because I get some of my best ideas. Just I hear an idea that makes me think of another thing. So that's something I need to make sure that I'm doing. So I'll add that to my calendar. I think maybe this week I'll focus on... There are a few different ways that I find videos that viewers are searching for. One is velocity. One is what I would call search bar content. I'll continually... I think I just need to do a brainstorming session every week. And a lot of times what I find is once we get down to the weekly goals, I find that they're basically the same. It's like every week I need to brainstorm search bar content. I'm going to keep posting videos, but if I need to get found, it's the same thing. And you might find that for yourself too. Once you get down to the weekly level, it's kind of the same stuff, and that's where you get into kind of the system and its habits. This is really what routines do you need to set in place? What kind of person do you need to become? A lot of times these are the same. So I've already added these all to my calendar, so I will check those off there. Those are done. And then these are the final 2 pages. I kind of have an extra little finances section, but every month I have a personal development plan, and it's what is one skill or character trait I can focus on this month, and it's always the most basic skill or character trait. I've focused on consistency before, I focused on energy before, I focused on the analytic of click-through rate for YouTube videos. This month I think I'm really going to focus on what I called on the previous page search bar content. Just finding topics that people are actually searching for instead of kind of these random ideas that I get in my head. I will hone that skill by doing the following actions. So this is more of what I said on the previous page, but I need to hone that search bar content. I need to have a brainstorming session. In that brainstorming session, let's make this measurable. I want to get 50 ideas, and those ideas need to have came from search bar or velocity. And then my April bucket list. I think I want to do... There's a couch to 5K plan that I want to start. I want to do some more frisbee golfing. I want to read 4 books. I think those are the main things. And then it says add to calendar and add to calendar. So at this point, I've already done this in preparation for this video, but I would grab your calendar and add these things to your calendar. At least what week do you want to do these things in April? And this is kind of a last minute thing. This is just one quick page of segmenting your financial goals. And so it's just real quick. This is, I could show you, this is my vision book. And what I've done is it's just a PDF, and then I've duplicated it. So I have one vision book for my regular like YouTube goals, and then I have one vision book for my financial goals. But I just want to kind of show you the gist of what the segmentation looks like here. So 2022, this is quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. My quarter 1 goal was to pay off student loans, which I did. So my quarter 2 goal is to save $5,000. I have a quarter 3 goal. My quarter 3 goal is actually a shopping spree. And then my quarter 4 goal is to save up money for a retreat. And I'll make those more specific as they go. I also like to set up rewards for each of these things. So in each case, I've decided that I'm just going to save up $300 each quarter. And then if I meet the goal that I set, then I can do whatever I want with those $300. So then I'm going to go ahead and segment. Maybe I'll split this up a little bit better. I'll split up my quarter 2 goal. So the end of quarter 2. So that's the end of April, the end of May, the end of June. And my goal for the end of quarter 2 is to save $5,000. I already personally had a starting point. So basically what it turns out to be is that I need to have $4,000 saved by May, and I need to have $3,000 saved by April. And what I recommend you do is when you're making these goals, just say, what would be the ideal scenario? Okay, I'd like to have $5,000 saved, and then crunch the numbers and see like how that works. And then you can always adjust, but I would start with like, what do you really want? Because I find that you're more motivated by things that you genuinely want, not things that you've settled for. So then we're going to take April and we're going to segment it into its paychecks. So my goal for April is to have $3,000 saved. Like I said, I already had a starting point of $2,000. So basically this month I need to contribute $1,000 is basically what I need to contribute. Now I've split this up into my paychecks. I randomly get paid 3 times a month. So for you, if you get paid twice a month, you would only have 2 tick marks here. So this is my paycheck 1, paycheck 2, and paycheck 3. So what this basically means is I need to contribute $333 every paycheck, which is what I've been doing, and I think is doable. And then that gets up to $1,000. The other thing I'm going to pay attention to on the paychecks is I also want to segment the reward. And so if I want $300 by the end of the quarter, that's $100 I need to contribute each paycheck, each month. That's $100 I need to contribute each month. And so if in this month I want a reward of $100, that's $33 each paycheck. So I think that's very doable. And I have a budgeting video if you are interested in that. And then it says add budget reminder to the calendar. So you just want to remind yourself on payday to kind of budget things out. And I do have a budget video, like I said. I'll link that below. And I have already done this, so I'm going to go ahead and check that off. So yeah, that is my quarterly planning. I hope you enjoyed that. I find it so helpful. I'm so much more motivated. I'm so much more inspired. Just kind of creating a new visualization. Where do I want to be at the end of June? And reading through my old visualizations, which I made at the beginning of the year, have really helped me to get back on track. Whenever I have the bigger vision, it helps me with what feels sometimes like the slog and the grind of the day-to-day life to really get remotivated. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great time with your goals. I'll see you guys in the next one.